So, starting this off with Vegas, really, I really wanted to talk about just the experiences that I had being able to not just go see BTS, but also be there with my friends and just be there within, this crowd of people that are also just like, whoa, and witnessing something with me that, like, a couple of us just like, it's been years, we, this was like, oh, wow. But I think amid all of that, I had really wanted to be intentional about going to understand the way that Black people were producing art, but thinking about art, thinking about their place and role in society as well, because that's just my business, and just understanding what people are doing with their communities and just experience culture over and over and over. And I feel like that's what I was doing. So from Vegas to Portland to Seattle, I'm just sharing, I think, just key things that I like took away from these experiences. And of course, sharing like a few like the in between details, of course. But yeah, let's check it out. So at this first place I was at was the museum collection of African art. And so I like how they were explicitly like, hey, the objects and images in this left of center African art collection represent the vast cultural and artistic heritage of the African continent. On top of that, something that I found crucial here was the fact that they emphasized that unlike Western art, pieces are not just created for display, but for use to be put in motion in everyday context. And like I think that's so critical to remember about art and Black art is that it lives like these art, this music. It's like it's so much more than just to be looked at.
This is a maiden mask and is primarily used for agricultural sales, festivals during the dry season, or
recently we've passed Mother's Day in the US, but I just really appreciated this exhibit highlighting the importance of maternity figures in culture, as well as depicting things like medicine pots, like you see here, and understanding that statues have more spiritual protection implied, and even that of masks, which I think I showed this twice, but there's these masks here in the video, but then there's also these rhythm pounders, which also have faces of their own to keep beat with and have intention behind, and the significance of that. I also like that this museum captured the presence and existence of embodying things when these artifacts are placed on the wearer, whether they're these kind of like crowns, which I'm showing here, or like even like the mask that I did show, right? So I thought that was important and significant to me. I like that they had documentary playing too on this exhibit. I thought it was funny that there was so much of a connection for me into all these different masks, and even though they meant different things, right? Oh, wear this in not in case of emergency, but it's kind of like, oh, wear this for not spiritual protection, but to enact this or to engage in this ritual, this practice. So I guess like as we were going to like the BTS concert and stuff, and I was with my friends and hanging out, it was like not that I was wearing a mask, but it was like there's very much real ways in which in which we embody our ancestors and people and culture, you know, even if there is no
Turn down
mask
the
involved.
air, but it's pretty hot here, so let me hurry up. But just trying to reflect on the way that I was just very grateful for the gallery and what they were showing and what they were trying to help their community realize when it comes to African art. And I think not art in general, I don't want to say art in general, but just the emphasis on the fact that art in context when it comes to the diaspora of African peoples, there's more to it than just being hung on a wall. It has use, it has purpose beyond that, it has presence beyond that. Like, it's not just a visual. Like, this is for ceremony, this is for celebration, this is for ritual, this is for remembrance. And so, very dope. Domi got us tickets to go see BTS tonight, which is kind of crazy because we only had them for Thursday, and so it's like, okay, Wednesday too. And so I'll head back. I'm parched. I left my water bottle in the car, so I'll drink some of that, head back to them because I'm supposed to get dressed so we can go to the stadium early.
Between Left to Center and the Barrick Museum, which art, care, and ecology was so beautiful, I ended up texting my friend like, wow, I've been thinking about masks and how like that feels like we're changing depending on our hair too. I was thinking about like reflecting on there's so much more art to create that reflects ceremony and honor and social ritual and traditions. And I think I carried that into Portland a little bit. And I searched for it there too, in the trees and the environment, but also in like different like exhibits and stuff that I saw around Portland, like in terms of like collages and stuff like that. And we actually stumbled upon a space that was Black owned and didn't actually care to have other people in that space. Like, yes, we went and danced on the water and like we went to the restaurants and things, but I think that was like really interesting to see a place where it was just like, no, this space is for us, by us, um and have those intricate, I guess, allowances into a space. Because usually, like, I feel like when people are in a space, like, there's it's one thing, and then whatever people are doing in the space, like, the space changes. And I think we were talking about that, the fact that there's a lot of people that want to be a part of what we're doing and want to see the things we're doing, and they're like, oh wow, like, how do I become a part of that? How do I do that? How do I get there? And it's like, let's collab. Like, I feel like you see it a lot during Black History Month, where it's like there's a lot of people that are like, let's celebrate this month, but it's like it's not like it's like superficial, but like sometimes it's just like the fact that you wanted to collab. Like, usually people have an event in mind. It's not like we're collaborating to come up with an event. It's like we have something in mind. Let's do this. And so, anyway, I just thought Portland was very interesting in the sense that like the food was interesting, the music was interesting, the fact that there were community centers that this mom and daughter had put up
No, Monopoly has had a
and
chokehold on me
got their
recently.
community engaged in. I thought
Okay.
that was interesting. And I thought the public transportation and access was interesting. I think seeing houseless white people everywhere was interesting. The fact that we got to sit in and like go through these different cultural centers and labs and spaces felt like an honor too, because it was like we don't necessarily live here, but it's like you the way the Black experience just can translate and learn you something so new that you weren't expecting, or you weren't expecting to even have the privilege and honor to talk about and think about. That's what I think I stand most grateful for when it comes to thinking about Portland. Like, it was an opportunity to celebrate with like a friend, but it was also like this opportunity to just reflect on art and its impact and what we will choose to do with it moving forward, however we choose to engage with one another moving forward. And so, yeah. Take a second swing. It doesn't make me wrong. Since I've been drunk in the bar already closed.
For good pay though.
Seattle couldn't help but remind me of people's proximity to God and that which they are separated from. I think, especially when it comes to culture and heritage and how spirituality is a part of that and your practices are important and you deserve to know that you're loved unconditionally. And yeah, let's go to Seattle. Y'all go ahead and say hi to Salem here. But when I had originally thought about Seattle, I didn't really have anything in mind. And honestly, when that happens, I'm like, let's go to where the black people are. Let's go see what they're doing. And I knew Juneteenth preparations were underway. And so I figured I'd go to the Northwest African American Museum as well as the Wing Luke Museum, which popped up on my radar when I was searching for these different places and spaces, including libraries. Libraries popped up and other sections, but I had just thought, like, oh, um, often I'm attracted to seeing African American things or black things or just trying to figure out where Chinatown is and food hop. So that's what I ended up doing and getting on a bus and taking my time to look at the art that was around the Northwest African American Museum, which is this is the We Are Water kind of mural. And walking in, it was just a collection of intentional history trying to capture Northwest heritage of Black Americans, especially after World War II, but also just that journey in general to the Northwest and what it looked like to be in a state that originally banned Black people from living there, right? So one thing I will say that piqued my interest outside of the Olympic exhibit here at the Northwest African American Museum was this map, this globe, because it depicts the North American Atlantic trade slave, but the transatlantic slave trade, but there's no connection to Europe. There's no connection to where it all started in Portugal. And I was just like, y'all missing something here. Like, you got ties from Africa to these different aspects of the Caribbean and South America and all these different places, but you never really talk about Europe, and I think that's a problem. there's a missed nuance when it comes to race relations and comprehension when you do that. And I felt that when I was in this next museum, the Wing Luke Museum. Provided a lot of salient experiences regarding the concept of belonging and home and what that meant for the Asian American but also the Asian Pacific Islander. And they try to include black people within that conversation, but I think one thing that I didn't really care for was the fact that they were trying to relate the term Oriental to the term Negro, because I didn't feel like that related at all. I mean, maybe the term colored, but I was just like, no one in the black delegation approved of this. I could tell, because there was just a lack of nuance in understanding, and I feel like there's been a continued nuance and discuss of that and the effects and impact of the lack of understanding when it comes to race relations in the U.S. and that racial history, the racialized history. All right, I mean, you have people within the Asian diaspora community talking about Zendaya in terms of colored and white appearing versus white skin and black, and the misunderstanding of all the shades of black and how the black person, the African person, is integral to their story beyond that. When I say there, I mean the Asian communities, especially Asian American, Asian Pacific Islander story beyond protest, beyond epistemologies and ontologies and culture and like